Welcome to the Brothers Bond podcast, where the Newman brothers cover topics from entertainment to politics. This podcast is sponsored by Hot Scents, the premier hunting scents and scent elimination. For more information, check out their website at HOTTSCENTS.com. That's hotscent.com. Now here are your hosts, Mark and Matt.
Hey everybody, welcome to the new podcast. It's a Brothers Bond. You can find it on Brothers Bondage, which could be taken in several different ways.
But it's about
friendship, but really
growing up together, good life.
Yeah, but it's funny because when we came up with it, I actually had somebody reach out to me and they didn't know. They're like, either you really like your brother or you're tying people up, And I was like, well, you can it was already used, a Brothers Bond. The user name was already used so
on Instagram.
Yeah, so that's why we just went with it.
Yeah, also, too, a co-podcast. We're starting the Whiskey Chronicles, sponsored by Team Whiskey. We got a couple of them recorded, so we're going to use this one as well.
That's Kevin.
Excellent.
Kevin,
Kevin
from Team Whiskey.
Yeah, out here on the Newman farm.
Out there on the Newman farm.
Killing
doing a little
some
whitetail hunting and a little whiskey drinking.
There you go. We've got Whiskey Kenny down there.
Boom.
Hell yeah. Love it.
The one, the only Captain Mark Newman.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a little carried away.
You're El Capitan.
The captain, and we got the doctor.
And then Mr.
The doctor's over there cleaning deer
Coach
right now.
Matt Newman.
So.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
The thickness. So, anyhow, it's been a great weekend. We've had a lot of fun being out here, tearing up the farm.
Let's go with Justin's kill tonight.
Yeah. Justin,
jump on. And, jump
so this
on.
is Kevin's son, Justin.
What's going on, guys? Team Whiskey here.
Yeah.
So we're hunting earlier today. It was a little windy, rainy, snowy.
Shitty day.
Actually,
Deer
a lot
hunt.
more windy than rainy.
Yeah, it was horrible for whitetail hunt. It was tough.
So we said, let's go back, do a fresh start in the morning, and wound up coming back to the farm, and it was able
Caught one slipping.
I took Justin on a little secret mission across the street.
Little headshot from 100 yards. And
a beautiful headshot at 100 yards.
Now we're skinning it out right now.
Yeah. It's over there hanging right now in the shed. But,
Gotta like the no waste of meat.
Yeah, no waste to meat. It's delicious. How could you ruin a backstrap or a rib? Now you got it all, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah, and the two front shoulders. Usually you lose a front shoulder or two, or at least pieces of them.
Yep. Neck shots and head shots, people.
I had a guy one time when I was whitetail fitting, and he came up with a pastor, and they wouldn't watch anything other than the Weather Channel. And the old guy that they brought up with him, he knew every chick on that Weather Channel. It was kind of creepy. I was like, damn, he knew about where she was from and shit like that. But they're like, no, we don't. And they had an 18-year-old son, but they were good people, and they didn't drink or cuss.
So I'm sure that was a hard weekend for you.
Yeah. So, hey, I tell you what, it was cheap. I provide provisions for them. They didn't drink at all.
Yeah, there you go.
And so I got the guy onto.
So the opposite of this weekend.
Yeah. So I got the guy, and he's like, I knew where these bucks were coming through, and he's like, yeah. He goes, I just saw. He goes, 60 yards, biggest buck I ever saw. He goes, I said, why didn't you shoot it? He goes, all I had was a neck shot. And I was like, again, why didn't you shoot it?
Right.
And he's like, I didn't think it'd kill us. He got a 50 caliber muzzleloader. That new muzzleloaders are pretty darn accurate. Shoot 50 caliber bullet, you hit it in the neck, it's game over.
Yeah. I know a guy out in Kansas shot as a buddy of mine's cousin. He shot a deer in the neck like that monster, but that's the only shot he had. It's a monster deer, beautiful deer.
Yeah.
But it was like a 250-yard shot like that.
And some of
the neck dropped it.
Some of the old timers that used to use 165 grain broadheads, they used to try to shoot them in the rear leg to get the femoral artery to bleed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they didn't have enough to punch through.
Huh.
Yeah. I know that you're as a broadhead hunter, you're nowhere near the neck. Stay away from it, especially on a buck. You won't do enough damage.
Yeah.
So So
You'd have to be shooting some heavy. I mean, you could spine one. You could. I mean, you would have to.
the high neck it.
I mean,
I'm
I
saying,
wouldn't-
like straight
yeah.
front shot.
Even with the expanding ones?
yeah, like
The expand ones would be worse, I would
be
think.
worse.
Yeah.
You'd want a heavy ass grain, shooting some major poundage. You
Right,
might be
yeah,
able to
I guess
break
that
a
makes sense.
vertebrae and drop a
Yes.
deer with a bow.
You could high neck them.
I would think. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
You know.
I mean,
So
you hit the jugular or something. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you hit something that's gonna bleed them.
It's gonna like
Sure.
look.
I mean,
yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
that leads to the the buck that I shot yesterday. It was a bad shot. In my opinion, it was a bad shot.
let's
Hey,
just
you-
say you hit the center of the target.
Yeah, right, exactly. It was and I think I it's hard after coming off a boat after 28 days and
Oh,
you
yeah.
get one night of shooting and then next morning you got to go hunting.
Yeah.
I ain't shot my bow for 28 days.
Oh,
I
yeah.
get to shoot one time and then I'm like, okay, and I jump in the stand. So, I don't know about, I try to get over the phase of visualizing on the rack and freak. You know what I mean? Like, I've done past that phase. Like, I
Yeah.
can tell when it's a good deer, and I don't get focaled on the rack to where you get the fever and shit. So.
Yeah.
Start,
You know,
look-
it
you
does
start looking to
happen.
kill
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the longer you look at him. So I think I underestimated the shot instead of, going through my steps like I should have, and I felt myself pull as soon as I released, and I was like, fuck, I already knew it was a bad shot.
Yeah, but you got it.
I got lucky. I caught the liver, maybe a little bit of the
Got some
spleen and some guts.
liver, and that was good.
The deer went 100, 150 yards. And the funny thing is this was just brought to my attention by the neighbors. They said, "Oh, you got the one-eyed buck," and I'm thinking to myself, "The one-eyed buck? That's that one I hunted last year. I hunted this deer for 2 weeks last year. I didn't even show you this stuff. So I hunted this deer for 2 weeks last. That's the one. Remember me telling you about that? And I was like, I'll never
Missed
hunt it.
it low.
I shot over its back.
Oh,
it was
over its
40, and I really didn't. That's when I started researching about arrow. I'm horrible at words.
Trajectory.
Trajectory, yeah.
Trajectory.
Arrow trajectory.
Yeah.
So like, if you're shooting downhill, like we talked about, you want to aim under
Lower.
it.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't. I never really even. See, I'm learning all the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So, I knew it was 40 yards. I used my 40-yard pin. I shoot over this deer's back. I was heartbroken.
They make rangefinders.
I know Miguel
My
has one.
rangefinder tells you the actual.
Right, Miguel has one too.
Range.
Yeah,
I
what do they
got
call it? Where it'll
It does the
compensate for
depth.
the.
Yeah.
It does the
Yeah.
depth
Yeah.
change.
Hey, Miguel, what
It's triangulation is what it's doing.
the rangefinder?
I got one right here.
Oh, the angle compensation?
Yep.
Angle compensation. Okay, that's what we're looking for.
BTO angle compensation rangefinders.
Right. So
It's in my blind.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And I mean, like I said, that was a hard lesson I learned, just like most of the lessons I learned in life. But
It's the only ones you really truly learn.
yeah,
And remember.
right. Those are the ones that stick with you. That's what I tell guys when I'm training them to drive a boat. I like seeing them get in trouble because that's when it's going to stick with them. You know what I mean? So,
Cousin Kevin,
Ain't that the
not
truth.
Kevin from Team Whiskey, Kevin, is back here videotaping, and cousin Kyle is learning how to carve up his first deer.
Yeah, how's Justin get lucky? Kills 2 deer and they get a
Doesn't even
skin
have
for
to
him.
do
Got it.
anything. Yeah.
That's how I do.
Yeah,
I set everything up and make it happen.
that's good.
So, where are we at in this process?
I think we need more whiskey.
Yeah, there we go.
hell yeah. That's what Team Whiskey is all about. Actually, this is a great weekend. I'm hoping that you guys can get on a. Miguel's seen a shooter buck, but you guys haven't even seen a shooter buck
We
yet.
haven't seen a
I
buck.
haven't even seen one yet.
I know.
We've seen some
Which I
of
can't
those.
believe it. You, especially looking over those 2 ridges, that you haven't seen one just chasing a doe.
Just 2 does and
And even where you're at in the hut, that's what in the morning we got to figure out something.
So,
Yeah.
I think you two ought to split up for sure.
I think one thing for
It's gonna be a
sure.
good
One thing
morning.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Tomorrow's
having a
going to
good
be a better
feeling
morning
tomorrow.
because it's going to be.
Oh, it's gonna be
it's-
cold.
The wind is in single digits. The wind's been in double digits, and whenever it's like that,
It's gonna be
there's
still.
not
and
going to
it's
be a
cold.
lot of the big boys out.
no.
No.
They're like,
just laying low
they know.
Right.
They ain't got nothing else better to do than wait.
That's right.
That's right.
You know, and in the morning it's going to be cold. It's going to be below freezing. It's going to be, like you said, still. The weather, you know, it's going to be calm.
Yep.
It's going to be. It's going to be.
Yeah,
a
the
warm-
wind.
Down for a day. They're going
then
to be
that,
walking, feeding.
Then that trailer, my
I know,
2x4 wedge came out. It did it again.
Wobbled back.
Yeah, we got a little.
So we started sitting on either
flip over.
sides to try to
It's a fucking roller coaster,
cat her
baby.
Well, we contemplated about hunting like that but then we were like, we'll just sleep.
Standing in a recliner. The chairs are nice though, aren't
Yeah.
That's all right. Do you know I took
know-
a piss in a tree stand tonight, and I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride too. Like, woo!
Oh, and that once that plywood gets slick up there, that old plywood, that's like a skate. I guess like a skating rink
they? Yeah,
right
it gets
there.
dangerous. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what
What the hell?
we're
you
gonna
know,
get a change of scenery. I'm gonna take you, I think, up to my great uncle's farm
All right.
in the morning. I'm gonna put him in the big tall stand. He's gonna go over by the ball field with me.
Ooh, you're gonna have some luck. You guys are. It's that big stand. So, if the 10-pointer comes out, take him. Please do that for me, because I missed him already this year.
He's
So,
a nice deer.
he's
There's
a
some nice deer up
good
there.
You know,
It'd be a change of scenery.
You know,
Something
deer
different.
do
You've been hunting
move.
that same stand.
Deer do
Justin,
move.
They
I mean,
moved
they.
5 miles.
Do you want to go back to the Grand
They
Line?
got a 5-mile.
Or do you want
But you know,
change the
for the
scenery?
most part, they'll stay in
I
the
don't
same.
know. I'm having a good feeling
And this
about
guy's
that
happy.
place. For
Guaranteed.
some
Stay-
reason.
he's
I mean,
happy.
it's
You can
set
go
up
down
for you.
to
If you- I
corn.
mean, I think it's
Come back.
I think it's just about timing there. I think if you spend enough time in that ground
Yeah.
line, a buck's going to come chasing a doe somewhere along one of those ridges.
Well, I walked down a little bit earlier to go check that, see if I got the doe or not. And I walked all the way down in there, and I was like, this is an awesome area.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It just
That's
looks
what I'm
like the
saying.
biggest funnel area. That,
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
then there's the pond, but I haven't seen one deer
Yeah.
drinking out of that pond.
There's turkeys that like to live down there too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd
they
hit a
love that
turkey if I
area.
saw it.
Yeah. I saw 12 last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were roosting.
So I
It's
got to
the
figure out
coolest
where I
thing.
want to put Justin at, where you can get a good shot. Unless you want to get in the hut. You want to try something new? Okay.
Yeah, we just got to pull out of here at
I
noon,
might put
though.
him in that tall stand behind Kyle's.
That'd be good.
You'll have a big wide range to shoot from.
Yep.
I've
Be
seen
good.
some nice deer come through there. I killed a nice 10-pointer out of that stand
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago. Rattled him in. He come in hot.
You gotta
He was snort wheezing. That's the first time I ever heard a snort wheeze.
you gotta put the shooter where there's some long shots.
That's right. That's right.
The head shooter.
I'm gonna
His
hit
mom
the
was worried at
reductions,
first. His
Shoot
first
him or
couple deer
Gavin.
he shot in the head, and she was like, the next deer he shot, she goes, "Did he shoot it in the head?" She was like worried. I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "I thought there might be something wrong with him shooting him
Justin.
in the head." I was like, "No, I told him to save the meat."
Yeah, that's where you want to hit him.
Hell yeah.
Hit them old nannies in the head. I hit one
Love
a couple years ago. She was running with my 308, that one that you're hunting with. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was dead sprint. I was swinging on her, and I actually led her too much. I was actually trying to hit her, blow her front shoulder out so she'd stop, or in the neck or something. I was trying,
Yeah.
and I over swung on her. I hit her right in the eyeball, just like that.
Was that one?
And all I see, it looked like she did a backflip. I was like,
Oh,
damn.
this one straight dropped to the ground.
Yeah.
When Justin
Nah, that was a
shot
hell of
it.
a shot,
Oh yeah,
man. He
headshot.
destroyed her.
That don't have to worry about a blood trail.
Not at all. Look down.
Yeah.
We're good.
Once you find the brain splatter.
Yeah,
it's-
she was
it's-
kind of flailing.
Yeah, I'm
a
having a little
bit,
trouble
so
with
we
your
waited.
308
We waited
today.
about 2 or 3 minutes. And then we walked
Missing
up.
deer, blowing my eardrums out,
I know. You got to get the feel.
misfiring.
Yeah.
I wonder why you keep yelling,
You
Kenny.
got to slam it back. You got to.
I'm having a little trouble getting it in there. But
Yep,
Yeah.
that too.
You got to
But-
make sure she slams shut.
yeah, my right eardrum's still ringing.
That grandma doesn't do no justice either. When you fire off a gun in a blind,
Oh, it was like
Oh, yeah.
deafening. I couldn't hear for a good minute. I'm like, uh-oh, this
How's
isn't
the-
cool.
How's the weather to you boys?
The weather?
In Indiana.
Just how I remember it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
like
you're
Ohio.
from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You know,
Ohio.
Greg.
Yeah, both of these guys.
Oh,
grew up
Kenny's
here.
from Ohio too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Columbus.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, he's Joe Burrow's his cousin.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's my younger brother.
Yeah, yeah, his brother. That's what. No, but he said. I said, "What's your last name?"